Former Cuban political prisoners hold a vigil once a week outside a popular Cuban restaurant in Miami. The aim is to highlight the plight of dissidents in Cuba who are being persecuted. Self-described exiles like these are some of Havana's harshest critics. They also are strong supporters of the U.S. embargo and other tough policies aimed at weakening Cuba's communist government. Joel Rodriguez is a supporter.
For the people who support the embargo and will continue supporting, we feel it is necessary. There is no reason to help the Cuban regime.
Cuban-Americans pro and con say they are aware the embargo has failed to produce democratic change in Havana. Now, some feel it is time for a new approach.
The policy of isolation and the policy of confrontation have been and continue to be massive policy failures.
Carlos Saladrigas is with the Cuba Study Group, a research institute in Washington, D.C. He points to a recent study by Florida International University. It shows that for the first time, more Cuban Americans oppose the embargo than support it. Part of the change is due to the growing numbers of young Cuban immigrants in Miami, says sociologist Guillermo Grenier.
New arrivals, as you'll see in the results, have a more conciliatory view, a more realistic view. They don't think change is going to come overnight.
For 17 years, FIU researchers have documented the anger and frustration of Cuban Americans about Washington's failure to weaken Havana's government. This year's poll found something different, says Hugh Gladwin, who led the survey.
There was like a real optimism, that number that not only said there should be engagement, but expressed it in a pretty positive way, like maybe this is time for something really new.
If you'll struggle with me.
Barack Obama's election has energized those seeking change in U.S. policy toward Cuba. During the campaign, Mr. Obama said he was open to meeting Cuba's leaders and lifting some U.S. restrictions. Few expect the new president to end the nearly 50-year-old economic embargo, but advocates of reform say Mr. Obama should work to reverse Bush administration policies. Wayne Smith was the top U.S. diplomat in Havana in the early 1980s.
Lifting the embargo is a very complicated issue. I see Obama moving toward improving relations with Cuba, lifting restrictions on Cuban-American travel, and I think lifting the restrictions on educational travel.
Reversing a 2004 rule that ended teaching exchanges is a top priority for Smith and a group of U.S. academics. Others want restrictions lifted on how often Cuban Americans can travel to the island and how much money they can send to family members there. For Cuban Americans who support tough measures, accepting change may be difficult, but embargo supporters like Ozzy Hernandez remain hopeful.
50 years with the same problem, and we have been unable to do anything to liberate Cuba. Maybe Obama can accomplish something finally.
Still at issue is whether and when the Obama administration will address the Cuba question. Brian Wagner, VOA News.